Redhead Bubble Cut from Western Drug. $2.98. Was that a lot in the early 60s? I definitely paid more than that. Hi, it's Kata. Despite the fact that I've been collecting dolls as an adult for approximately 4 years now, I may have made the rookie mistake of overpaying for some vintage Barbies. That's okay. It happens sometimes. And plus, there's a real feel-good reason for this, which I'll share with you in a bit. But first, let me share with you my current Barbies of the 1960s and 1970s to give you some context. So you may know that the first Barbie came out in 1959. This is mostly what she looked like, but this is a reproduction of that doll from 1993. Those original 1959 dolls are extremely rare and extremely valuable. Like, Trixie Mattel even does a video where she splurged and bought a 1959 Barbie, and even she doesn't indulge how much she paid for it. So I've never seen one in real life, and I doubt I ever will. But just a few years later, in the early 1960s, Barbie was everywhere, and it's not actually too hard to find Barbie dolls from around 64, 67, and of course forward. Now, to be honest, I'm not much of a vintage early 60s Barbie enthusiast. My interest in Barbie really begins in the late 1970s and early 80s and thereafter. However, I do have actually a lot of 1960s and 70s Barbies, these here, which we'll talk about now. Heads up, none of my dolls are in pristine condition. I've gotten all of my vintage Barbies secondhand, naturally. And also, they're an active part of my household, essentially. So my very oldest Barbie isn't actually a Barbie at all.
It's Ken.
It's Ken. The 1962 Ken doll, which is actually pretty cool because this is only the second generation of Ken, who was first released in 1961. Pretty good condition. And then there's the 1970s Sunset Malibu Ken, who is so handsome. And then there's the 1972 Mod Hair Ken. There's always a little crazy. I love the blue eyes. This is not his original outfit, but these are vintage Ken clothes. Yeah, he's really attractive. The original doll came with like a beard and mustache that you could put on him and like sideburns. Very mod. And then here's the 1974 Free Moving Ken. He can move his body, dress like a gymnast, or at least high school PE class. See, there's this like thing in the back that you can make him like really dance. Hey Barbie. Hey Ken. What's up? And then the 1964 Allen. This is the first Allen, and aside from one other Allen the following year, that was it for Allen. There are no multiples of Allen.
Yeah, I'm confused about that.
Technically, he came back for a minute in the 90s and again in the aughts, but we really don't see much of Allen. I actually got him as a Christmas gift with that second generation Ken. So that was a pretty great Christmas gift. Thanks, hubby. I like his side glance. Allen's a pretty boy. My next two oldest Barbies are the 1964 Titan Cut and the approximately 1964 Fashion Queen. The Titan Bubble Cut Barbie refers to her hair. Titan meant red, Bubble Cut meant the style. And it was actually pretty common for these old vintage Barbies to get some green on them, usually around their ears, somewhere on their face. That's unfortunately one of the ways you know that you have a genuine vintage Barbie, is because it was common for whatever type of plastic they made their face with tend to turn green with age. And then the Fashion Queen, she actually has underneath this hat a very short pixie cut. There's usually a colored headband here, but hers has faded. The doll originally came with a bunch of wigs, so you could give her new hairstyles, which must have been really fun at the time because otherwise Barbie didn't come with any clothes except, I mean, what's with all the swimsuits, you know? I think I would have been sort of bummed that I have this new fashion doll with zero fashion, but I think that's where your mom or your grandma came in. They could make clothes for your Barbies for you. I think that's why we see so many handmade and homemade vintage clothes, is because your Barbie doll came with just a swimsuit. So it was up to your mom to make clothes for your one doll, maybe your two dolls. And then they sold fashion packs separately too, of course. These two bubble cuts are actually reproductions in the late 90s and early aughts. I actually really like reproduction dolls because they don't turn green and their hair is in better condition. So even though the early 1960s bubble cut Barbies don't particularly appeal to me, I do absolutely love the original 1958 face mold that Mattel uses in some of its collector dolls. The reason it's 1958 is because that's when they patented the head mold, even though the doll wasn't officially released until 1959. Also, side note, this is my side note cam. You'll hear me mention face molds or face sculpts as I show these dolls, and I'll explain more about what that means in my vintage Barbie tips towards the end after we look at everyone. So yeah, they used the 1958 face mold in a lot of dolls later, like this 1996 Barbie Loves Elvis. And then of course, over the years, Mattel also released reproductions of some of their more glamorous 1960s Barbies. So of course they used the vintage face mold in that. And then the entire Barbie fashion model collection Silkstone dolls use the 1958 head mold. I mean, obviously they painted up the face mold way more than the original, especially in these Silkstones, but they always kept that great heavy-lidded cat eye, usually a side glance, never smiling, almost pouting. I mean, this is a gorgeous face for Barbie, and it's one of my faves, if not the favorite Barbie face for me. The mid to late 60s gave us a Barbie face that I absolutely love. The twist and turn or TNT face sculpt. The wider coy eyes and often some rooted eyelashes. This one is the 1967 Go-Go Coco, and here is the chocolate bonbon, whose nose I attempted to remold myself. Don't laugh, first attempt. I need to redo that video. And this is the 1974 free-moving Barbie. Just like with Ken, she's got that thing on her back that makes her disco. Or headbang. This is her original outfit, by the way. And of course, the two 1976 ballerina Barbies, which is why I think I have a particular soft spot for this face mold, because this was the first Barbie I ever got. So this is truly what Barbie looked like to me the first time I ever saw Barbie. Beautiful. I do have two TNT reproduction dolls. The 1967 Hair Fair from 2017. I love her short bob haircut and of course her beautiful rooted eyelashes. And then we also have the 2021 reproduction of the 1973 Doctor Barbie. Hey, Barbie experts, question for you. Did Mattel ever actually manufacture a Barbie Doctor doll in 1973? Because none of my Barbie collector guides even show her, and everything I've seen about it on the internet shows only this 2021 repro doll, while referencing how groundbreaking it was that a female Doctor doll was made in the early 1970s. The 2021 doll says it's a reproduction from 1973. Is it though? Because I'm wondering if Dr. Barbie was first introduced as merely an illustration in like a 1973 color book or something. I'd love to see pictures of the actual 1973 Dr. Barbie, so if you know more about this, or especially if you have a genuine 50-year-old Dr. Barbie, let me know in the comments. And then we have the 1969 Giulia with the Christie face sculpt. Christie was the first black Barbie in 1969. She's so pretty. I love that Giulia has a short pixie cut and that it's red. Initially, Giulia did not come with red hair. She came with dark brown, almost black hair. It was very common for this doll's hair to oxidize and turn this beautiful auburn red color. So it's actually pretty rare to find a Giulia with her original hair color. Most of them have this red hair, which I absolutely love. I think it's so flattering on her. Then in 1970, we have two live-action PJs. She also does the movements. Look at that groovy outfit. Oh, the boots. I'd wear those now. Yeah, I got two of these. One as a Christmas present from husband, and then one as a Christmas present from husband. He's so sweet. And I love them both. I can't bear to part with either one of them. Looking very different from her predecessor, the 1972 Sunset Malibu PJ was the first to introduce the Steffi face sculpt, which is one of my other favorite Barbie faces. In 1973, the Quick Curl Kelly had the face. Poor Kelly's curls don't hold the way they used to. What a pretty doll. And I think the reason why I love the Steffi face so much is because of this 1975 Hawaiian Barbie, which was my second Barbie ever. Beautiful. You still see the Steffi face appear on dolls today, like the early 2000s Birthstone Beauties collection and this Modern Circle Simone, also from the early aughts. That Steffi face is one of the most classic Barbie faces. These are the last 70s Barbies in my collection, and these are now in my era of Barbie. The 1976 Marie Osmond was also one of the first Barbies I ever got. And who doesn't know the 1978 Sun-Lovin' Malibu Barbie with her sexy little tan lines? There are so many Malibu Barbies that sometimes it's hard to know what year your Malibu Barbie is. She could be anywhere from 1971 to 1978, but the sun-loving ones are the most recognizable because of her tan line. Here's the 1978 Kissing Barbie. Okay, now this was a rookie mistake. I got her from the thrift store. If you press a button on her back, she makes these noises that are supposed to sound like kissing. And her head moves. But, her lipstick had come off, so I thought it'd be a good idea to take a red Sharpie and reapply her lipstick. And it turns out, not a good idea. So I need to fix her as well. And then one of my absolute favorite Barbies, the 1979 Beauty Secrets Barbie. Now that is a superstar face. And my love for Barbie just exploded and went on from there. So those are all the vintage 1960s and 1970s Barbies I have at the moment, but we still have this case to go through. So here's how this came to me. 2 years ago, my husband met a lady at a yard sale, and as they got to talking, it turns out she was looking to sell her childhood Barbie collection. She's in her 70s, and she's had them since she was probably 9 or 10 years old, so they're from the early 60s, and she's the original owner. At that time, we went to her house, and she showed me all her things. Now, again, the early generation of Barbie isn't typically my go-to, but at the time, I didn't have any early 60s Barbies at all. So this would have been my first set, and I was willing to buy them, but not dying to buy them, you know? So I offered $200, and she passed, which was fine with me. And I told her she could probably post them on eBay or Facebook Marketplace and get what she wanted from them. And that was it. We walked away with no dolls that day. Fast forward to last Monday. I'm literally watching the Barbie movie when, out of the blue, I get a text from the lady. She wondered if I still wanted the Barbie stuff and she'd be willing to part with them for the $200 I had initially offered her. Now, here's the thing. all those 1960s Barbies you just saw, I'd gotten all of them in the 2 years since then, and I certainly hadn't paid $200. I honestly wasn't that interested to buy hers now, but...
Do you ever notice how everything a person says before the word but is a lie?
Her text pulled at my heartstrings, because the reason she needed to sell them was because her dog needed medical care. Aww. Take my money! Plus, since seeing them 2 years ago, I'd forgotten what was all in her collection. So, aside from a quick glance when I picked this up, I haven't dug into it at all. So, you're going to come along with me as I open it up and look at it for the first time. Maybe I didn't overpay. Yeah, I think I did. Let's find out. Okay, so here we are. Look at this great case. Vintage. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah. Ooh.
Okay. All right. Well, first glance, she did say that there's a bunch of stuff in these two as well, and a bunch of clothes. Some original, some I think mostly made by her mom. But look at that! I mean, that is like genuine, original clothes for Barbie and Ken. It looks like one of them has their box, but let's dig in.
Ken seems a little shy.
He does. He doesn't have Kenergy. Oh!
Ma'am.
There he goes.
There's a Ken down.
There's a Ken down.
A Ken down.
Okay, let's first take out Barbie. I'm gonna lower this camera shot a little bit. Alright. Okay, here she is. Here's a Barbie girl. La 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 la, something, something.
Ooh, copyright.
Oh, dang it. She does have the green ear. Oh, you know what? That's interesting. That's because the earring is still in her ear. The pearl earring, it's just turned green.
Ooh.
Which is really common.
That's infected.
Super infected. I don't know if this is the Titan bubble cut or if this is supposed to be like a blonde or brunette, so we shall take a look. Maybe her box says. Look at the box. Oh, that's a midge. Is there a midge in here? What? Okay, first, let's take a look at Ken. Here's Ken. Ooh, I don't have a blonde one. This isn't the first generation of Ken, because the first generation of Ken has flocked hair.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I do believe this is the second generation of Ken. This might be 1962.
Oh.
In fact, I'm almost positive this is the 1962 Ken. So I really, really want to know if Midge is in here. Let's see. Oh my god!
Both the dog and I were like, ah.
I just can't believe I didn't realize there was a midge in here.
Ah! Oh, Midge.
I don't have a midge. I have no midge.
Well, you do now.
I do now. And look at that great box. Holy crap.
That's pretty cool, actually.
You can tell it's from Mattel. It's swell.
Ah, gosh.
Golly. Woo. Look at how cute, though. Okay, let's check this Midge out. Oh, look at her. I did not realize that Midge was blonde. I thought she was a brunette or a redhead. Does she have freckles? Yes! Look at the freckles. Look at how cute. She's got a Barbie body. Of course she does, because it says Barbie and Midge in the back now. I'm very excited. Okay, so check this out. I'm going to lower this even more. A bunch of Ken clothes. Let's check out the clothes. Oh yeah, I think that's Ken's original shirt. Yeah, that came with Ken originally.
I think you have one of those already.
I do, but my Ken's a brunette. That's why I'm so delighted that I have a blonde. Okay, ooh, this outfit. Great. Great vintage outfit. See, look, even the tag says Ken. I'm just Ken. Oh, look at, I love how she's got them all together in like a full outfit. The corduroy pants, the jacket, and the shirt that goes with it all together. Weird green marks in there as well. But still, I love that. Ooh, look at this pajama set. Some pants. This definitely looks like maybe that's homemade. Oh, these are really great pants. What is this? Oh, it's a robe.
You know, for when he goes to the Playboy Mansion.
That is awesome. Wonder if that's homemade or if that's a Ken-iginal. Nope, that's homemade. I love it. Plus we have some Barbie and Midge clothes over here. How cute. I think these might all be homemade. Oh, so well made. Very well crafted. Look at how cute that is. I cannot wait to put that on Barbie. Ooh. Is this an original Barbie or is this handmade? Man, somebody was really talented with the sewing machine. Oh, wow, look at this one. It even comes with little panties. Ooh, she's got some fur stoles, fake fur. This is a pink one, light pink. This one's a white. Ooh, for when she goes to the opera. Oh, I love this one. This reminds me of that kind of light blue one that Barbie wears in the movie with the wide circle skirt and the like bolero jacket. So cute, and a little like headscarf. Oh my gosh, those are great. Okay, great clothes. Now, let's move these guys out of the way. We'll put Barbie here. Back you go, Barb. Yes!
Uh-oh.
Her head came off. Okay, wait. That was easy.
All better.
That's not near as devastating as when Barbie heads come off nowadays.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All the blood and everything.
Yeah, when Barbie heads come off nowadays, you ain't never getting that back on. Okay, so let's check out what is in these wonderful little boxes. Oh, I can take them out. Let's do that. Oh, a lot of shoes and hangers, and hey, is that Ken's tidy whities? Look at these little underpants for Ken. It's funny because they like molded these onto Ken in the future. But he's got socks, and he's got, what the heck? Flip-flops! Wow.
The socks goes with the flip-flops. Classy look.
With fashion. Like tuxedo shoes? Is that kind of what they're called? Very nice. More socks. I don't know what the wheel is for, unless maybe he has roller skates in here somewhere, but these are great. Okay, let's see what Barbie has. Ooh, oh my goodness. This little purse, I have the reproduction on this. Somehow, I don't think this is a reproduction. I think this is the original. Look at that. She's got jewelry. A lot of hangers. They were really big on hangers. Oh, look at the vintage cat eye sunglasses. And oh my gosh, the cat eye eyeglasses. I don't recall seeing Barbie have eyeglasses. The classic mule shoes. Wow. And then yeah, just a bunch more necklaces and bracelets and stuff. And that's it. So, what do you think, honey? We spent $200 on all of this.
Money well spent.
You think?
Sure.
Plus, it went to a good cause.
It's Christmas.
She did not want to let these go.
No.
She's had these since she was a child. And I don't think I would want to let them go either.
Well, they're in a good place. Yep.
I also think it was meant to be because I was watching the Barbie movie when this happened.
Yes, so it is serendipitous.
Very serendipitous. What do you think? $200 for all this? Is it worth it?
It's a pinhead, think so. I think so. Yeah.
I'm like, that midge alone. The midge alone. I'm just delighted to have a midge. I don't know anything about Midge, except she was pregnant and then there was the whole scandal. But look I have Alan. I have Midge's boyfriend already. So, maybe separate bedrooms for a little while. So I thought I'd end today with a couple of tips that every Barbie collector knows that helps us identify the age and type of doll we have. Now, earlier when I referred to face molds or face sculpts, that is the patented type of head mold that Mattel introduces a doll with, and they all have a certain type of face. The face sculpts are known by the year, and usually they're given a name. There are dozens, if not hundreds, of different types of face molds. Like you can see, for example, some here, how each one of these dolls have very different faces. But one thing that's kind of cool is that Mattel does use classic face sculpts on some modern dolls. Like, for example, this 1972 PJ has the face sculpt called the 1971 Steffi. That's when that head mold was patented. And that's the name they gave it at the time. But more than 30 years later, the Birthstone Beauties collection came out, and they all had that same Steffi face. See how similar they look? They both have those pursed lips and kind of a half smile and very wide eyes. Obviously, other things have changed like makeup and skin tone, but that is the same face mold. And one of the ways that you can tell is by looking at the back of the doll's head. Miss Topaz here has a head stamp that says copyright 1971 Mattel Inc. That doesn't mean this doll is from 1971. That means Mattel used a face mold created in 1971. It's actually really exciting for a collector when Mattel releases a new doll with a vintage face mold. The same is true for Barbie body molds. One of the most common misconceptions for those new to Barbie is that the 1966 copyright stamp on a Barbie body means that the doll is from 1966, but that's not the case. 1966 is the year that this particular body mold was created, and it was used for decades. For example, this is the 1983 Irish Barbie with a body date of 1966. I've chucked it in so we can see it better. So it's very common to see Barbies from the 70s and 80s and 90s that have the year 1966 stamped on them. If you're shopping for vintage Barbies, keep that in mind when the seller claims the doll is from the 60s. Also, recognize that face? Yep, that's the Steffi face mold from 1971. Now, unfortunately, not all Barbies have a date stamp on the back of their head, but that's actually a really good way to get a more accurate sense of its age. Here's a really great example. Boy, that sure is stereotypical Barbie, isn't she? So, her body stamp says 1966. But take a look at her head stamp. It says 1978. So right there, we already know that this Barbie is not from 1966. That's the Superstar face mold, by the way. Very recognizable, wide blue eyes, toothy smile. I love that face. However, that head stamp does not necessarily mean that this Barbie is from 1978. It means that Mattel used the body mold from 1966 and the head mold from 1978 on a Barbie doll made in 1994. This is the 94 Ruffle Fun Barbie. How to ID her exactly is a practice in patience and detective work and a subject for another video. I'll link some sites and resources that I use to ID dolls in the description. But the main takeaway for today is those little hints that can help get you closer to identifying the age of a Barbie. If Barbie has a head stamp of 1978, then she can't be from 1966. And if your 2007 Barbie looks like your mom's doll, it's because she's using the same head mold from 1971. Pretty fascinating. So I hope those were some helpful tips for you and that you enjoyed coming along today as I shared with you my Barbies from the 1960s and 70s, and as I welcomed in some wonderful new dolls into my collection. Midge, look it. Recognize? Midge face mold. If you had fun with me today and you want to see more videos, please feel free to subscribe. Thanks and see you next time. I'm so excited to see who's going to be joining the Barbies at Kata Doll World. Kata Land? Kata. At my house. What? Just don't make it complicated, Kata. Gives you some good tips in helping to identify your... What was that? Oh, the light went off.
Here, I got something.
Okay, what?
I'm gonna set the internet on fire.
Do it.
2 Power Rangers and a land speeder. That ought to get him going. That ought to piss everybody off.
With Barbie
Yeah.
in the background.
Ding.